reckon in the finish, James Bond, James, pass me the Heineken, I wanna stay drunk, stay blazing more than anybody, what you say, son? Pass me my steering wheel, I'm about to take off, the time, give me reckon in the finish, James Bond, James, pass me the Heineken, I wanna stay drunk, stay blazing, got to ask about it, all I've done, give me a penalty and I'ma say, all I want to is at home, but I don't pick up the phone, I'm alone in a bar, getting drunk in Monaco, I don't care anymore, I've been racing for so long, so the press always answer every question with a ball. Iceman, what you think? Diamonds on my throne, ice this, ice that, give my wife another stone, bring my kids a toy back home, a trophy from a pole, I don't care, push photographers if they get too close, don't radio me unless it's about the drink, if it's strategy, don't you think I'm old enough to think, just leave me alone, I know what to do when, and don't shout there, fuck out or I punch you on the chin, Kimi doesn't need a lot of races to begin, 23 and on debut score a fucking point in, such a vintage sour, but I drove it to the limits, and of course I had the net before, that's just because I'm finished, boy.
I was supposed to be a triple world champion, all 305 women, but my parent never can win. First season with Ferrari, I put on a show. I did what none have done since you drop on the game.
Give me reckon in the finish, James Bond, James, pass me the Heineken, I wanna stay drunk, stay blazing more than anybody, what you say, son? Pass me my steering wheel, I'm about to take off, the time, give me reckon in the finish, James Bond, James, pass me the Heineken, I wanna stay drunk, stay thrashing, got to ask about it, all I've done, give me a penalty and I'ma say, what I want.
Oh, I'm so drunk, I can't be the fun like this. I must find somewhere they drink and race. Where? Whoa.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the last tier of the race, tier 2 in ERL here at Spa. The last two races, tier 1 and 3, we're doing it in a bit of mixed order by the numbers. They've provided some interesting racing. Yesterday especially was a very good race, and today we've got ourselves the first challenge of the Spa weather to contend, as the weather forecast for tonight is dynamic. If any of the drivers is listening and they can tell me the predictions for the weather during quali and the race, that'd be awesome, so I know what I'm talking about as well, strategy wise. For the moment though, for the quali, it looks like it's going to be dry, and we are just now waiting for the first car to go out on track and set that track fastest lap, trying to get onto pole for tonight. Got a couple of cars going out. I see a Ferrari and I saw something moving in the back as well. I think that might have been a McLaren. McLaren is the first one on track, and that will be Lange. So if he stays the lead car for this hot lap, which by the looks of it we will follow him on board for the first hot lap of the session. I'm sure that's what Langen is doing it for, just to get some airtime. I'm sure during the race we will see him down the back of the grid somewhere. Hopefully we will see him fighting with somebody. Lange, I know you're listening, I know you love this. This corner here, it's a very tricky one as well, especially once you're full throttle. Already goes wide here, nearly knocks his wing off. And that's just how tricky it is around Spa. The curbs can be very slippery. Most of the track you got a lot of room, but sometimes the walls are just right there. And as it's high speed, it can be very unforgiving once you touch that wall. Of course, Spa, longest track on the calendar, as mentioned the last 2 nights as well. Over 7 kilometers, which makes it only 22 laps for us tonight in the race. Now let's go on board as Lange goes through Blanchimont and into the bus stop chicane. And let's see how he starts his lap. Already used a bit of his ERS on his out lap. That won't help him. Opens the DRS and off we go down the straight. Down towards La Source, very tight hairpin. Takes it alright into second gear. A little bit of a moment on the exit, but down he goes. Accelerating down towards Arouge and Radillon. Let's see if he can keep it full flat. And he does and keeps it within the lines, and now onto the Camel Straight as he once more opens the DRS for the highest top speeds on the calendar on this track. He reaches 345 kilometers an hour. Quick math tells me that's about 210 miles an hour, I think. Through Le Combs, keeps it nice and validated, and out through this tricky corner here. I'm sure it has a name as well, but I'm not that knowledgeable. Bit wide here through this corner here, and now again a corner coming up, and he gives up the lap. So we go down to, which I think is a Ferrari that's right behind him. That will be Mens, not Bob. Now comes through that corner where you need to stay committed as much as you can. There goes Lange into the next sort of long chicane. Bob wanted to beat a 1:42.5, and let's see if he can do that today. Nicely into section 3 of the lap, and now heading that towards Blanchimont for that bus stop chicane after it to finish the lap. I'm sure this will be a banker lap for now. Let's see what he puts down. And it is a 1:43.0, so he needs to improve about half a second if he wants to improve his prediction for tonight. Obviously, he set the 1:42.5 because he wants to beat my time from yesterday, so obviously I hope he doesn't make it. In the meantime, Tom with a 43.2, Tristan with a 43.5, and Schipper with a 43.7, so nice banker laps are being set. Who else is on a lap at the moment? Eddie seems to be going slow. Dirk is going definitely slow. Phonology. Anton Hypers, is he on a lap? As Chunky says a 1:42.6, very good lap time by him. Let's see what the Red Bull of Anton Hypers is doing. Very committed through that corner there. Into the bishop stop chicane, onto the straight, keeps it straight as well, and puts down a 1:43.6, which puts him in 7th. Christu then, he's normally a pole contender in this tier. Let's see what he is doing as he enters the second sector of the lap. I love this corner. He takes a lot of curb there, which is quite risky because it can easily flip the car around and make it want to change sides. But he keeps it nicely together. A little bit of traffic here that looks to be on a hot lap as well, but gets out of the way. So I assume that will have been a out lap as well then. Obviously, it says a purple sector on the track map, but as we know, that's a glitch when you set the first lap, so we don't pay too much attention to that for now. But let's see, as he makes his way down the back straight, if he can break that lap by Chunky set already. In third through the last chicane, and he sets a 1:42.5, so a tenth away from Chunky, so that's definitely a spicy battle there for Paul between the two of them. And MG Dunn has just started his hot lap by the looks of it, so let's follow him. And obviously we keep an eye out on all the other times that are being set. While MG Dunn makes his way down Camel Straight, few predictions already given by some of the drivers. Avanology thinks a Dutch driver will win today. With Christopher at a provisional pole for now, that could all play into his prediction. But he wants it so we can hear the Dutch national anthem on the podium and remind us of Max Verstappen. He's Irish, so I'm not quite sure what he has with the Dutch, although there is a little bit of orange in the flag, so maybe some long lost love going on between the Irish and the Dutch. Got one more then. Tom HKR, he wants to score a few points and extend the lead over J.R. Morgan. Well, if he gets some points, he will already be doing that anyway, as his brother won't be racing tonight. He had other plans, so a stand-in is taking his place. Now let's watch what MG Dunn is doing as he goes through the bus stop chicane over the start-finish straight and sets a lap time. Looks to be very decent. Is a 43.2, good for a 6th place for now. In the meantime, Charles Leclerc has joined the battle for pole as well with a 1:42.6, just marginally slower than Chunky, put them into 3rd place. Let's see, is that Lange starting a lap now with full ERS? It is. So let's give him some more time as he couldn't finish the lap earlier. And whilst we're looking at that, already mentioned that J.R. Morgan won't be racing with us tonight. We've got a couple of reserves driving tonight. Will be Brian in the Haas as a reserve. We got, well, we call him Ralphie, but on screen you will see him as Zonneveld. He's driving the Alpha Tauri. We've got FCT Enschede or FCT Enchilada for the Ferrari stand-in. Eddie Dust in the Mercedes. Lange, as we're looking at him, as he abandoned his lap in the McLaren. Papa Steve abandoned as well. Let's see, Dan is finishing his lap 42.8, so he's in that battle possibly as well. Switch over. Shudon just put in a lap 43.2. Puts him into P7. So really at the moment we just got a couple of outlaps going. Let's stick with Dirk as we haven't had him on stream just yet, who is also a stand-in tonight for Alfa Romeo. And then the last stand-in tonight is Charles Leclerc on screen. I believe it's not the real one, as you think he would be way too fast for us then, but he's driving in the Williams as a stand-in. So that's all the predictions and reserves for tonight. And let's see what Dirk can do. Bit wide there on the exit of La Source. That will have cost him a little bit of time. And in fact, it can harm your acceleration all the way down to the end of Camel Straight. So it could be potentially only just good enough for a Denker lap. I'm sure the screen there isn't right where it says it. He's in 4th gear on his steering wheel. But the telemetry was showing he's rightly in 8th gear as you would expect down that long straight. Eddie Das has been disqualified from the session for being in the wrong way. I'm guessing he will have spun somewhere and faced the wrong direction, tried to correct it, and then sometimes the game can just be very idiotic and dramatic about it and disqualify you. A little bit wide there for Dirk, but he keeps it validated somehow. I'm sure that was all four wheels over the white line, but lucky him for keeping it together. Let's see what sort of lap time he be able to get. Guessing it will be around the 1:43 high mark. There's a 1:44.1, so slightly off the pace I predicted. As Charles Leclerc now sets a new provisional pole time, he must have taken my earlier comment personal and put down a 42.3 in anger for a provisional pole. Let's see what Lange does as he finally puts a lap down, but it's only a 1:51.0. Is he going to go again? His fuel is flashing. He had a moment. I'm sure he's going to give this one up. So who else do we have? Ferry, he's invalidated. Papastivo. Sure, he set a lap just before. His ERS is recharging, so no, he won't be doing anything. Anton Hypers just improved. With DRS or ERS like that, he won't be setting another lap. Shippo then, he's just started. Let's stay on board with Shippo as a legend. The onboard didn't seem to be too fast, but nevertheless, no, he's not going full throttle either. He will have given up that lap for some reason. Dirk invalidated. Brian, he's marginally quicker than what he was through the second sector. So let's see if he can improve and beat at least Dirk and maybe Zonneveld as well while he is at it, and big moments and decides to give up the lap. Anton, he's slower, so everybody is going in at the moment except Tristan. He decides to go off schedule or maybe just a little bit earlier, not to have any traffic, which, to be honest, shouldn't be a factor anyway on this long track. Bit wide through the last corner. That will cost him, but he keeps it valid somehow. Through La Source, that's nice and tidy. I'd say that's exactly the amount of space you need to take over there to get a good exit. Full committed through Rouge and Radion. Marginally down on his time at the moment. Let's see if he can improve through the second sector. First sector is not the most important one to gain a lot of time. That's mostly done through sector 2 and 3. You will have obviously seen how to do it. Oh, and that was a Aston Martin getting a little bit in the way. Might have been. No, it wasn't Shippo, so it will have been the other Aston Martin, chunky but funky possibly. Tristan did a mighty job yesterday at commentating for Tier 3, so he will have seen what to do and what not to do. And we saw him going through the second sector, being 7/10 up on his time, so that will be a 1:42.8, which will put him in content for the top 5 starting positions. Will that be correct, and will he keep it together? Let's see what he's going to do, sliding through the last corner. It looks to be a decent time, and it's a 1:42.9. Very nice lap by Tristan there. In the meantime, we see FCT on the lap as well, so let's follow him coming onto the Camel Straight. Slightly lower top speed by FCT than what Tristan did. As I was focusing on the top speed, I kind of missed his delta on his previous time, but we'll have an eye on that for Sector 2. As we enter the last seconds before the flag falls, will we see anybody on a hot lap able to beat the 1:42.3 that's set by Charles Leclerc? 20 seconds to go to start your hot lap. If you're on your out lap now, it's very busy going into the bus stop chicane with people that want to start their lap in time. I wonder if that's going to cause some chaos later on, and FCT is now 1/10 up on his time, which could gain him a fair few positions, right about the 9th or 10th place at the moment. And let's see what he does as he goes over the start-finish straight. Get a decent lap, 1:42.9, 6th place, a lot better than what I expected. So he must have gained a lot of time through that 3rd sector as well there. And in fact, so good, it was a purple last sector, I think the game was showing. Phonology then, he's slightly up on his time, whereas then no, Phonology is further ahead, Christopher is behind that, and Chunky but Funky just set a 1:41.9, the first one into the 1:41s tonight. Will anybody be able to improve on that? Charles Leclerc has just invalidated his lap, so he won't be able to. Christopher 10th up on his time, 3/10 up through Sector 2. And Phonology coming on to the bus stop chicane now, and what will he be doing? Puts the power down nicely as he exits the last corner. It won't be a 1:40 now, and he doesn't improve. Let's have a look at Christopher then. He's now making his way. 3/10 up it's showing. What will he do? Will he take that provisional pole? And he goes second with a 1:42.1. And Charles Leclerc has retired. I'm not sure what happened there. Bob improved as well, puts himself into P3 with a 1:42.3. And that is it for qualifying tonight at Tier 2 for Spa. So pole position then will go to Chunky but Funky, with being the only one driving into the 1:41s. Only just with a 1:41.986. Very competitive pole time there. Christopher, I'm sure he's bummed out by missing out, but he's got a 1:42.1. Oh, and I didn't pay attention to that quite yet, but Men's Not Bob, or Men's Not Paul, is very happy that he beat my time with a 1:42.307. He did indeed. Well, congratulations, buddy. In 4th then, Charles Leclerc, Papa Stevo in 5th, Shudon in 6th, Anton Hypers in 7th, Ferry at 8th, then 9th, Phonology in 10th, MG Dunn 11th, Tomker in 12th, FCT Enschede in 13th, Tristan in 14th, Schippo in 15th, Zonneveld 16th, Dirk 17th, Brian in 18th, Langen in 19th, and the disqualified Eddie Dust in 20th with a DSQ. He will be asking the race director for a permission to race tonight, which obviously, as we're not that hard, is granted automatically. Now, as of this week, we will be having a formation lap again. So, as that is going on, I will put on all the details on the screen that we want to see. Still, any driver that would like to comment on the race strategy for tonight, whether it's dry or not, please let me know, so I know when we can expect pit stops as such. And hello to you as well, Oscar. Thanks for watching, and nice that you're joining us as well. Here we go then for our formation lap. Get the full a lot of different strategies again. Chunky on pole decides to go with hards. Christopher wants to attack with mediums, and then Mensnot Bob decides he wants to go full attack with the soft. So all three strategies already in play in the top three positions. Three more that decide to go on soft for the full attack. All the other three are Dutchies. I wonder if they're all in a party together. FCT, Tristan and Zonneveld all decide to go full attack on the softs. Then the hard runners are Shudan, Anton Hypers and Den amongst Junkie. And the rest of the grid is on those medium tires. Chunky and Christopher are pulling a little bit of a gap on the formation lap, which might not be helping them too much, because that means they are standing on the grid for much longer than the back markers. So their tires might be a bit colder than everybody else's. Chunky's tires are going to struggle a little bit as well on the start anyway, being the hard tire with the least amount of grip. So we will see how he gets off the line, and if any of the other drivers behind him will challenge him straight away into La Source. The upside to those hard tires is, of course, they are going to last longer. 22 laps, I think you can make them last until about lap 15 or so if you're pushing it. Soft tire runners are going to be looking to pit at around lap 8 or 9, and the medium somewhere in between, I think at about lap 12, depending if they go hard or soft after the medium tires. As they're all lining up, getting all ready, Ferry missing his parking spot. Let's see how the race gets on the way once we get those 5 green lights, or red lights even, going out. Langen as well missing his parking position. Now guys, let's all keep it nice and clean into turn 1. We got 5 lights and we are off. Apparently, the drivers haven't got the notice yet. Now we are. And it looks like a very good start from Chunky. He keeps the lead into the first turn. Chunky loses a spot to Mensnot Bob, which goes a bit wide, so gives it up again. And So far, everybody seems to be going through the first corner, all unscathed. Ooh, bit of a moment there by Christophe, and he misses his wing, keeps his wheels together, and that is very unfortunate through La Rouge, Eau Rouge and Rodillon. And we saw a Mercedes there, a Ferrari as well by FCT yesterday. Wonder what happened with that one. No safety car or virtual safety car though, so let's go back to the front where Men's Not Bob is already challenging Chunky but Funky on those soft tires. Let's see how long it will take him to overtake Chunky and make the best use of his soft tires. To make his strategy work, he needs to get past fast as he can and unleash the full potential of those tires. For now, Papa Steve and Charles Leclerc are watching behind him as well, and the longer it lasts for Men's Not Bob to go in front of Chunky, the better it works for them as well. Got a couple of guys dropping back. Christophe obviously with his wing damage. Saw some position changes here as well. I think it was around Tom and HKR. Very, very close to Anton Hypers with Denon in front. Anton Hypers is going to try it on. Side by side through the bus stop chicane. Leaving each other enough room almost, and Dandan is losing out here as Ferry and Anton Hypers both get through, as he just was brought out of position by the attacking maneuver of Anton Hypers, which, well, fair play to Ferry to stick his nose in and make the best of the opportunity when it was there. Guys close to, and Men's Not Bob is trying it on with Chunky. Oh, and they collide and they both go off. They've not retired, but they both got some damage. Men's Not Bob definitely has a full wing off. We got a virtual safety car, and Chunky seems to be having his full wing, surprisingly. I couldn't quite see what happened there, who will be at fault there, but that will definitely be visible in the steward's room tonight. That's very unfortunate for both our race leaders, as this will hamper their race massively. Now, everybody watch out. Yeah, I was just going to say, watch out for your delta time, as Ferry falls victim to the glitchy delta time. And he has been given a drive-through penalty. As we go back to racing again, virtual safety car has ended. And let's see, stick with Ferry to see when he will serve his drive-through penalty. Oh, and behind MG Dunn braked very late. Ferry goes straight away to serve his drive-through penalty. He will drop back to, probably about back of the grid, but might be between Shippo and FCT, that sort of area. Let's go back to the battle at front, where Charles Leclerc is still hanging on to the back of Papa Stevo. As it's been a virtual safety car only, we will have to DRS this lap regardless. It would have been a full safety car, we would have needed to wait another 2 laps until after the safety car. But this lap it is enabled. We got Chunky dropping back as he enters the pits. No, he doesn't. He just lost the position to Lange there. Go to another battle. We got MG Dunn all over Anton Hypers, with Zonneveld and Tomker not far off behind. Zonneveld now close on MG Dunn, as he had a bit of a bad exit there. But Zonneveld can't quite make the best use of it. Has a moment himself, and now it's hunting season for Tom HKR. And let's see, has he already got him? Let's go on board. He hasn't been able to get to Zonneveld and make the use of it, but he is all over the back of him. Has a think about going into the bus stop chicane, decides better of it. Whilst Papastevo sets the fastest lap now. Tom with the DRS though, which Zonneveld has as well, so it could be that Tristan is going to be the sitting duck here for Anton Hypers. Although he seems a bit far away. Tristan's ERS light is blinking, so he will be low. We don't see the same light at Anton Hypers, so he will have more ERS to deploy on the cable straighter, get a better top speed, and let's see if he can make it work. But now instead it's MG Dunn getting through. MG Dunn, is he getting done into Lecombs? And he is on the first one of the Lecombs corners. He is through. And in the meantime, Tomker has been able to catch Zonneveld on that same section, which happened in the background somewhere out of sight, unfortunately. As we go into the second sector, a little bit less attacks going on here, I think. So let's have a look at the position changes. And the biggest loser of the first part of the race is Manuel Bob with his broken wing and the incident with Chunky the Funky. Christopher as well with 15 laps lost, 15 places lost. 15 laps would be a bit too much. Chunky with 12, and then Ferry just making up the position now, being 7 places lost. Biggest winner for the moment, Eddie Dust, making up from starting at the back, now 10 places gained. And in the top 3 we got Phonology making up 7 places, now driving in 3rd place. Tristan as well done a good job, gaining 8 places on that opening phase of the race, now in P6. So let's see if that changes throughout the race. It is a good track for overtaking, so let's see how everything is looking by the end of the race. For now, a couple of big losers and a couple of big gainers. And knowing Bob as the co-owner of the league, I'm sure he's fuming behind the wheel of that incident. Obviously not sure what happened there. That will be for the stewards to decide after the race. I'm guessing Chunky will be equally as fuming behind the wheel. A couple of time penalties coming our way then, the first ones of tonight. Let's have a look at those as well. I saw a 5-second penalty for Ferry as well. I assume that was when he took his drive-through in a bit too hazard way. Forgot to put his brakes on at the right time and got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And then track limits are there for Lange and Brian. That may well hamper them at the end of the race, as you can't get rid of the 3-second penalties in the race. 5-second penalty, if you get another pit stop, you can get rid of it and make it all up back on time on the track. That's what I meant to say. So back to the fights. Phonology getting close to Charles Leclerc as Papastevo is pulling a bit of a gap, 2 seconds away now from the second place. Still, of course, well within the pit window, undercut, overcut range. But Phonology giving Charles Leclerc a good run for his money. And now Papastevo gets a 3-second time penalty as well, and that could be very costly for his win here tonight. And let's see if Phonology, with the help of ERS and DRS, gets the move done into Lecombe. Very nice angle here by the helicopter. Thank you, Mr. Helicopter Man. And he gets the move done nicely and clean. As I'm sure he's now going to start the hunt for Papastevo. And in fact, let's have a look at the tires. They're all on medium, so Phonology just having a better pace on those medium tires for now. behind then a shoot on, and then just got through a shoot on by the looks of it, and Tristan all over the back of MG done. And let's see if he can make a move down the back straight as we enter sector 3. And Charles Leclerc in the meantime is getting close again to Evanology, going for the counter. Not quite getting the move done just yet, probably waiting out for the DRS as not the first one, but the second DRS after a Rouge Radion on the Camel Straight is very effective. So that could be his counter to get the move done. Not really going for the attack, neither is F1nology defending very hard for the position. Let's see if he tries it again down on the Camel Straight, whilst in the meantime Papasivo is saying thank you very much, I'm just creating my 3-second gap here. And Charles Leclerc seems to have a much better exit, gets a little bit of grass there as Evanology gives him just the minimal amount of space, but he is through into Le Comte. And this could well be a battle that just keeps on giving throughout the race. Let's see what else is going on. Eddie Doss making his way forward now in 8th position. And already looking close to Tom. Will the both Mercedeses work together, or will they fight it out on track and lose some time? Tom as well is on the back of Tristan. So I think they need to play the team game here and work together to get past Tristan. Both on the same tyres as well, so the different strategy call from the pit wall is not going to come. Eddie Doe coming all the way from the back from P20. I'm sure he's shouting to the pit wall, let me through, I can have a better pace and have a better go at Tristan here. And don't we like to see a little bit of Mercedes clashing. Tom not quite getting the move done just yet. Is it again a bit of timing as Tristan decided to go into the pit, thinks the better of it, goes for the undercut and says thank you very much, you can have the spot for now. As Shippo retired. I saw Shippo retiring, and where did that happen? I think it happened going onto the back straight towards Blanchimont, which is a very famous spot for very slippery curbs with a nasty wall close by as well. And it does bring out the safety car. Now, as Lange forgets to apply the brakes as well going into the pit, so he will get a 5-second penalty. But this will do awesome things for the strategy, depending on the weather of course, but those on the mediums that haven't stopped yet, or even on the softs, could bring them well into contention to bring the fight back. And the likes of Men's Not Bob and Chunky, who of course suffered a bit from that collision earlier on, they could be well back into the mix as well. Again, just as before guys, pay attention to your delta time. We know it can be all over the place in this time, so keep a bit of margin and pay attention to the the countdown at the top of your screen. It starts with 15 if you first go below your delta, so you've got 15 seconds, so be mindful of that. It's the place where Shippo crashed. Let's see, Chunky is coming up to this corner now. I think it will have been here, as Derek gets a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. He had one yesterday as well. You'd think he'd learn, but yeah, he might have been driving like Dickeria and not been paying attention to his delta time. So that will cost him again, and after the safety car, he's got 3 laps to put the drive-through in, and which I'm sure will bring him to the back of the grid. Yeah, as I was saying, that corner leading down to Blanchimont. In real life F1, we don't really see cars struggling, slipping and sliding all over the place through that corner that much, or even DNFing at that spot. But in Formula One, even last year, it was quite a famous spot for losing the rear end of the car, or losing a bit of front end stability even when you hit the curb on the inside a bit too much, and it can push you against that wall that's on the outside, which is quite interestingly placed, shall we say, as it gives you little to no room to overshoot the track limits there. And if you hit it hard, as you are going at 250 kilometers an hour already. As Dirk now also gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits behind the safety car. It's a bit of an unnecessary penalty that from the game, if you ask me, because you're not really gaining anything by going over the track limits. But I guess it will be too difficult for EA to program in that you don't get track limits behind the safety car. As we know, we already get quite a few glitches now and again, even without logical reasoning in the game. Yeah, a bit of a breather as we got a pack backing up again behind the safety car, waiting for Lange to join the pack, which he will do very shortly. And I'm guessing we're going to have one more lap behind the safety car. But let's see and wait for the message of safety car in. Let's go on board so we can see the lights of the safety car, because they should go out as well. No, nothing as of yet. Still saying safety car on the top. So we will go for another lap through Spa behind the safety car. And whilst they're doing that, let's have a look at the tyres so we can see who's been into the pits, and that's virtually everybody except FCT and Men's Not Bob, who decided to stay out on their hard tyres, probably thinking they can go to the end with them, especially with the safety car helping them a little bit. Couple of guys that now got 2 laps on their tyres, and they are, if you ask me, a little bit unlucky, because they went in just before the safety car came out, and everybody else went in as the safety car came or was already out. So they will have lost a little bit there compared to each other. And by the looks of it, that will be Tristan, Zonneveld, Brian, Dirk, Christophe and Lange. All of those except Dirk, I'm sure they can make it till the end with their tyres. 2 lap old softs in round 10. Lap 11 we go back to full racing again, so that will be another 11 laps of racing on those soft tyres. I think I did about 11 myself yesterday, and they were screaming for me to replace them. So I'm sure Dirk's is gonna be the same as well by the end of the race. I'm curious to see from him by the end of the race what the tyre wear was on those tyres. Have we got a position change on the safety car there between Dandan and Ephonology? I'm sure that's not allowed, and we're going to see a penalty for that unless they fixed it themselves as well. Now there we go. Dandan gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. If that was by any means started by Ephonology going a little bit too much side to side and a little bit in front, we can remove the penalty for you then, but you have to obviously report what happened. So we will see that in the stewards room as well, I am sure. As we now get the message, safety car coming in. Quick look at the position changes while Papa Steve will surely slow down the pack in a bit. And And we got Eddie now on 11 spots gained. And is Papa Stevo even gonna slow the pack down? He has to, otherwise the game will slow him down. Anyhow, let's go back to Papa Stevo for the restart, because he's keeping the pace up nicely. Still weaving. When will he go? Will it be in the chicane or after the chicane? He waits till the exit of the chicane, but he's going, and everybody is pretty awake so far. Charles even, I'd say, had a better start than Papa Stevo there on the restart. Again, everybody coming through single file as Dirk straight away decides to take his drive-through penalty. And Charles very right on the back of Papa Stevo, not quite putting it alongside. Thinks the better of a move for now. If he can stay this close behind, he will be making the best use of DRS in about 2 laps from now. Let's get rid of those position changes again, and let's see what else is going on. Ethnology on the back of Dan, but no position changes there as of yet. Tom quite close to MG Dunn. Obviously not the best part for overtaking quite here, but let's have a look at Christopher. He's making a move on Men's Not Bob, proving me wrong. It's not the best place for overtaking, as he proves you can do it. Oh, as he has a little wobble, and Men's Not Bob gets the position back. As now Tomke gets a 3-second penalty, as well as Shudan overtakes Men's Not Bob as well. And actually it's Ferry joining the fight here with SE Dunn and Ferry and Men's Not Bob. Very close together, these three. And Brian loses the place to Shudan. Papa Steven now sits at 46.0, nearly flat. And Shudan also all over the back of FCT. Let's go and have a look at Charles Leclerc. He's right on the back again of Papa Stevo. Will he try this time around, or will he stay put and wait for that DRS? He's waiting behind still, and we now have Eddie Dust coming through, overtaking Zonneveld. Tomke still right all over the back of MG Dunn. It's a nice battle going on. There's a few nice battles going on actually. It's quite hard to follow it all, but Junkie goes through by Zonneveld. Possibly a little bit of wheel banging, but they keep it on track facing the right direction, and I didn't see any parts flying, so that will be an alright move, although I'm sure Zonneveld will have been a little bit cursing behind the wheel of the wheel banging. Now Brian behind FCT, the Haas customer team, trying to make a move onto the factory team of Ferrari, and he gets it done around the outside, but it looks like, yeah, and he does it even before Blanchimont, and now FCT might fall victim to Ferry as well, and that will be a double Haas overtake around this part. Brian does all the best to bring FCT out of position, but his teammate goes a bit wide through that last corner, so we'll have to wait another lap, and in the meantime have to defend from Christopher, who's going to try it on through La Source. Both go through side by side, but Ferry takes the better line and keeps the position for now. We will have DRS now, I believe, so let's see in this spec what's going to go on with the overtakes. And Dan has just dropped out of the DRS on Papa Stevo, so for now Papa Stevo gets to keep the position for 2 twos going into Le Combs. A little bit of wheel banging, and we see Ferrari spinning. That's FCT going off, and oh, be careful with the rejoin there. And he will not be pleased with what happened there. It's another one I'm sure the stewards will have a look at tonight or tomorrow. That might inflict a penalty on somebody later on. Chink in the meantime going side by side with the Aston Martin. Well, no, with the both Mercedes actually. He's in a Mercedes sandwich. And again, we've got customer team fighting with the factory team and really get it done down the back straight. He's looking all over the place but can't quite find the room yet to overtake Tom. How long will Tom be able to hold it off? He picks the middle line through the chicane. Chunky is looking for the switchback on the exit, and again they are going to be side by side. Chunky slightly behind now, less exit than Tom, and he gets the better exit out of Lesource though. He gets it done but has a little move. And are they going to go side by side through Eau Rouge? They are, and Tom claims the lead still. That's some proper racing going on here, wheel to wheel at full speed. Ah, we're loving this. Tom now trying to box in the Aston Martin so his Mercedes teammate can go through, and they make it work. Will Tom now be able to keep the position towards the Aston Martin of Chunky? And they do. They make it happen. Tom and Eddie Dust both keep the position, and Eddie Dust being the big winner here. Still going side by side is Tom and Chunky, but he is finally through. It did look like it was always going to happen, but Tom fought very well for that position and helped Chunky off long enough for his teammate Eddie Dust to come through. That's the racing we'd like to see. As we're now looking at MG Dunn right over the back of Evanology. Let's see if he's going to get a good run down Blanchimont and towards the bus stop chicane. Evanology having his ERS lights blinking already. And I have to apologize, but in the meantime, Dandan has overtaken Papa Stevo. So once they go down Eau Rouge again, we will have a look to see if Papa Stevo gets him back. But Dandan now also sets a faster lap with a 1:45.5. And for now the position stays to Evanology. Let's go back to this battle, and in fact Papa Stevo is dropping back outside of DRS already, and that's making the best use of the medium tires for Dandan. So that fight is over for now, but could come back towards the end of the race when the mediums will go off more than the hards. And now MG Dunn is making that move on Evanology with ERS, and he didn't even use the DRS for most of it, but he gets the move done nevertheless, even before we get to the braking zone of Les Combes. And let's go to Ferry, as he's close to Christophe. Not quite get the move done. Zonneveld's now fighting with Tom. And, is that yeah, Shudan got Tom as well. So that fight that Tom put up with Chunky might have cost him a little bit of tire life and temperature, and therefore now lacking a little bit of pace. But Ferry now gets a 3-second penalty. I'm sure he had one before, but Christophe goes through and past Zonneveld. Zonneveld not quite giving it up, but has a little moment, and now Ferry is going through, but they touch. And they both keep it on track, but that is not quite what they had intended for that overtake, I am sure. Still going side by side though. Let's see how they're going through Blanchimont. And Zonneveld is picking the outside line, which should give him the better exit onto the main straight. Let's see how that goes. Not quite got the tires or the pace to stay with Ferry to counter the move. Chunky but funky in the meantime, making his way forward again, recovering from his earlier moment through the comms. Now in P6 and only 7 tenths behind MG Dunn, with Evanology right behind him, which he overtook earlier outside the screen. Is he gonna get the move done in Sector 2 on MG Dunn? And I think the big question for Chunky is going to be, is he going to be able to get back onto the podium? Goes a bit wide, but keeps it at least 2 wheels within track limits, so that's not an issue as of yet. And he's staying very close to MG Dunn, who's now within DRS range as well of Tristan, which could prove an effective defense mechanism for him once we get to the DRS part, as he will get the slipstream and DRS himself then as a little bit of a defense to Chunky. Chunky looking to having a lot more pace than MG Dunn at the moment, and he gets his. Does he get the move done into the bus stop? He gets the inside line, and yeah, he gets him. That's done and dusted, I'd say. Will he get the DRS onto a Camel Straight? It doesn't look like for the moment. If he gains another 2 tenths on Tristan, he might get it. Otherwise, we might be looking at MG Dunn trying the counter with the DRS. As Chunky as well has got his DRS light flashing. Let's see if the Alpine and the Red Bull are both going to go full attack with the DRS and try to counter Chunky. And they do, and the Alpine gets through. And the Red Bull has a look, but thinks the better of it. And Chunky now back again behind the Alpine. And the Red Bull still trying it on through Lecom. As I scroll the wrong way, but Avanology still trying it on Chunky. What else have we got battle-wise? We got Ferry. I'm sure this battle has been going on for a while as well now, behind Tom HKR with Christopher and Shudan in front as well. Not quite close enough for now to bring us some action. So let's go back for now to Chunky as Lange gets a 3-second time penalty. In a few moments when the battles have cooled down a bit, I will have a look at those penalties again, but for now let's stay with this fight and focus on that fight to see if Chunky can get MG Dunn again into the bus stop chicane, and he doesn't this time round. So it looked like he had a bit of pace on those tires earlier. Can't quite get it done into the bus stop chicane now, but he has the DRS going out the bus stop chicane. And now MG Dunn, which had a bit of a compromised exit, might fall victim to F1ology as well. And I think he is going to fall victim to that. Are they going to go through a Rouge side by side? They are. And yeah, MG Dunn had to take a bit of a compromised line there and give the position to F1ology. Does mean he will have the DRS. Let's see if he can stay with those guys in front. Doesn't quite seem to have the pace around Spa to keep up with the guys and move forward. He might be dropping back a little bit by the looks of it. Stevo gets another 3-second time penalty. That might going to cost him quite dearly at the end of this race. Dirk Ommer gets a 3-second penalty as well, which might also cost him, I think it will at the moment cost him 17th place. At least won't cost him any points. Adidas though close to MG Dunn, which is a bit of a DRS train that's formed here behind Tristan now. A little break of the train by F1ology. And we got Lange, he retired. And where did that happen? Where's Lange? He's in Les Combes. That could possibly have been a snap, but it gives us a very, very late safety car. And it gives me the opportunity to have a look at these penalties. Papastevo on 6 seconds, then on 5, which he could get rid of if he takes that pit stop now. Is he? Yeah, he is. So he's taking that 5 second away. Charles Leclerc on 3, and Tom and Ferry on 3, Brian on 3, and Dirk on 6. And I'd be surprised if we don't see the full grid going to the soft tires for the end of the race, if they still got fresh ones. Well, and they are going to make me surprised already, as Papastefano and Charles Leclerc have decided to maintain track position on their 10-lap old hards, which I got a feeling they're going to regret by the end of this race, because we're only going to get 1 or 2 laps behind the safety car. So it means in, I think lap 20, we're going to go back to racing. And they are going to be sitting ducks to Den on his fresh soft tires. Possibly even Tristan and Chunky. And we've seen Eddie Dust with some good pace as well, so he might make his way forward. Anton Hypers, I'm sure he's taken the pit stop, but only had a used medium, so he's on 4-lap old tires. And Dirk decided to go on new mediums, so I'm guessing he didn't have new softs either, but chose to go for new mediums. And then, yeah, let's see how badly it's going to affect Papastefano and Charles Leclerc, because they got the time penalty as well, which might cost him dearly with this late safety car. It's not saying safety car in just yet. Might be a late call. But now, with the bet markers, we're going to go for one more lap behind the safety car. Which means we are going to have lap 21 and 22, so 2 full laps of racing to decide the outcome of this race. So a very teeny tiny little sprint race of 14 kilometers and a bit at the end of this Spa Grand Prix in Tier 3. Or sorry, Tier 2. It keeps catching me out that Tier 2 is driving on the Wednesday. And that's all because Tier 2 joined us halfway through the season. Yeah, just waiting for the last 2 cars to catch up with the pack, which will be Dirk, Omran and FCT Enschede. And one more time we can have a look at the biggest gainers and the biggest losers of tonight. And Eddie Dust, 12th places still in 8th place, and Tristan doing well as well with 10 places gained. I might have wound him up a little bit before the race, saying we will see him down the back of the grid. Obviously he took it personal and is proving me wrong here, now fighting for a possible podium position with his new soft tires. And biggest loser of tonight so far will be Men's Not Bob with 10 places lost due to that earlier incident. Maybe now with the safety car, with the pack back, punch back up and his fresh soft tires, he's got some decent pace. Maybe he can gain a few positions, get back into the points. And the other biggest loser so far is Anton Hypers with 8 positions lost. So he will have been 7 on the grid, but now 15th. Not quite sure what happened with him. But yeah, let's see if he can make good use of the safety car restart as well. And Christoph Yu, after dropping down very early in the race, all the way back, with now only 7 places lost, made his way back into the points, into 9th for now. As we have the message, the safety car is coming in, so I timed that rather nicely, and let's go back on board with Papastefano for this safety car restart. With his hard, all the tires and all the guys behind him on freshest soft tires, it'd be interesting to see what he does. He got Charles Leclerc as a buffer, so he could do the restart as he's into the chicane, catch Charles Leclerc out and create a bit of a gap, but I think by the end of the race it might not quite be enough. And he's going before the chicane, he's going already. And it does seem to have caught Charles Leclerc out a little bit. He already got a 1 second gap. And Dan is looking to go down the inside on his teammate into La Source. Keeps the tighter line, fresher tyres, and he's got Charles Leclerc done already, now going for the hunt onto Papastivo. But Charles Leclerc is fighting back, and he kept the position through a ruse. Surprisingly, but we don't want to see this. We want to see this. There we go. Two Williams going side by side into Lecombs, and Dan gets the position, and Tristan gets Charles Leclerc as well. So we got yellow down sector 2, and Chunky but Funky is falling back. And what has happened with him? We saw him on the runoff there a little bit, all the way down the back, and there's a big scrappage there with wing loss and everything. Is that a retirement? No, he's still going, but he's got his wing off, and FCT and Dirk were there as well. I wondered what happened there. Again, we will see this in the steward's room, I am sure. Denon already all over the back of Papastivo, and all he really has to do is, he doesn't even have to overtaking on track, but I'm sure he wants that overtake on track to come over the finish line next lap as first. But the 3 second penalty of Papastivo for now will already give Dan the win. Let's stay with these guys for now. And Dan taking the outside and gets the move done before the bus stop chicane. As Avanology gets another 3 second penalty, and I'm sure I saw Tom getting a 3 second penalty as well. See Charles Leclerc dropping back as well now, and his tyres seem to have given up. Now down in 12th, he might have had a little bit of a moment there. Yeah, big position changes here at the safety car restart. Avanology fighting it out with MG Dunn, with Eddie Dust gaining the place on Shu Dunn. Well, Avanology now fighting it on with MG Dunn. And we got a big crash down in Rodillon. And that is a very nasty crash with Tristan and Christophe. I don't know what happened there, but 2 cars going off through Rodillon. I'm guessing there will have been a little bit of contact as they've gone on the hill and took each other out, and that is one nasty crash. And for some reason Charles Leclerc got a 5 second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So he might have overtaken somebody during the yellow sector in sector 1. That was one big moment. As is the last lap, obviously we don't get the safety car. Real life, this surely would have been a red flag at the end of the race, but as Shudan overtakes Avanology for the final lap. And let's go to Dan, who kept it clean, nice, and made the best of that last bit safety car. And let's give him his moment of glory as he goes over the finish line for first. Papastivo with his time penalty should still be second. No, he's going to, well, he drops all the way back. MG Dunn takes second, Eddie does take third. Shudan takes fourth, Papastivo ends up in fifth. Mansell Bob recovered to sixth. Zonneveld seventh, Avanology eighth, Anton Hypers in ninth, Charles in 10th, Brian in 11th, Dirk in 12th. Tom in 13th, and we're waiting for FCT to be the last one out over the finish. He, I think, was tangled up earlier in the safety car restart. That's why he's quite a bit behind, but he goes through the bus stop chicane now, comes over the finish line in 14th place, does a little bit of a donut. Done it a little bit too early and didn't quite make it over the finish line. decides to take all the glory and puts it in reverse. And that is the Spa Grand Prix done. He even gets 11th by the game. We had a little bit of a weird moment with that yesterday as well. Yeah, that is the end of the Belgium Grand Prix in Tier 2 for ERL for this week. Next week, no break week this time, so we're going straight into the next race, which on Monday we will have our Tier 1 driving on the beautiful track of, and I'm just, in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. So all the Dutchies in the league will be fighting for the win here in Zandvoort next week. So on Monday the 21st we'll have Tier 1. On Tuesday the 22nd we'll have Tier 3 driving for their win in Zandvoort. And then on the 23rd, on Wednesday, we will have the Tier 2 of tonight fighting it out in the dunes of the Netherlands for their moment of glory on the old school challenging track that is Zandvoort, which is now lengthened DRS straight as well, which isn't so much a straight as the DRS now starts before the banked corner. So yeah, interesting race tonight, quite good overall. Couple of incidents that we will surely see in the stewards room, and especially that last one we saw through Radion. I'm sure both the drivers are going to be quite fuming over that one in the latter stages of the race. But for now, I'd like to thank you all for watching and see you all again next week. Ciao, ciao.